Thank you very much. Our semifinal, yes, it was won by Brian Voss. 3 in a row now, 245, 225.
And it was a field of 160 players. Average field of everybody, 209. That's great. 218 to make the top 24. 211 to cash, 53rd place. Gil Sliker and Earl Zeman. As you see some of the other players in the top 24. Steve Cook, a pair of 300 games. Tony Morisi had another 300. Dave Houston, U.S. Open champion. Don Sylvia doing well. Pete McCordick, a true value 300 player. Steve Jaros, Deadeye. Malacosta, the taco man. I love him. What a great player. The president, Schlegel in there. James Miller, colorful Guppy. Troop, the Fireball, Ringer. Jim Pensek, Hot AG, and McClurkin round out the top 24. Chris, we're ready for the final match. Two really tough players.
They finished their practice balls now. Dave Ferraro, the tournament leader. 42 games coming in here. He had only one game, to show you how good they are, only one game under 200. That was his first match play game. He shot a 193. They're incredible, these pros.
That is one of the best records I've seen in a long time. Only one game under. He's not eligible for the Firestone either, so he needs a win. A 4-pin right there.
All right. Tournament leader is marked with a spare, going against Brian Voss, who has had 3 victories in as many games today, a total of 23 strikes. 7 strikes in his last victory over popular Randy Pedersen, 245, 225. But this now is the championship game, his first shot.
Last time these two players met in the championship, Chris, as you said, was Cleveland. It was won by Dave Ferraro.
All right, 24th strike of the afternoon, our live coverage from Ray Becker's Landmark Recreation Center. We mentioned Ray Becker. Peoria is coming back, this city on the Illinois River. It had tough economic times, but thanks to men like Ray, who put a lot of effort into the town, it's starting to boom again.
One of my favorite bowling towns. Now Voss trying for the double. Yeah.
And the national champion is on today.
Ferraro is just one of the really tough match game players we have on the PBA Tour. You get to the 10th frame and you're not a little bit ahead of Dave Ferraro, you have some problems. Now, second frame.
Little mixing action. Look at the wry smile in the face. Dave Ferraro.
The wall shot, we've seen it the last few weeks become a pivotal strike in the Professional Bowlers Tour here on the tighter right-hand lane, lane 38 on the championship pair at Landmark. Ferraro carries it. The match would be even if he can strike here in the left lane. Third frame.
Man that knows all about harness racing. His family's been in it. He would have done it instead of bowling, but he had an allergy to hay.
That's a bad allergy if you're going to be around horses.
Mm-hmm. And now the bachelor from Tacoma, Washington, in his 4th game of the afternoon. Double up. Well, he's done that before in his matches today. Let's see if he can extend it at the very beginning, because I still would like to give that $200,000 away.
I agree with you, Chris. He started every match very well, and here he has 3 strikes in a row. Needs 9 more for $200,000, but the most important thing for him right now is that man Dave Ferraro, his opponent, true value title at stake. 4th frame.
Jumping out to a quick 20-pin lead over Dave Ferraro in the championship match. We'll be back. Dave Ferraro, 5th frame, 3 in a row up. A 4-bagger letting his opponent Brian Voss know that he is in this championship match.
Ferraro's got all the strikes going for him. He trips the 4-pin with the 2-pin. It goes to the sideboard, takes out the 4. And in the 4th frame while we were away, he carried the wall shot. He has all the shots going, but he is not ahead of Brian Voss. Both players have 4 strikes in a row. Voss from the very first frame, he's still in the hunt for the $200,000 true value bonus.
It 5 in a row for Brian Voss, Tacoma, Washington. The fans are beginning now to come to life.
Interesting what Voss said in his interview earlier, that he really is thinking about the $200,000, and that's when you're on a hot streak. He made more than $100,000 in the first 3 weeks of March, so he's thinking of big figures, and right now, he's really not thinking of Ferraro. He's saying 7 more strikes, $200,000. That's a nice mental attitude to be bowling on the Professional Bowlers Tour with.
There. 6 in a row at Landmark in Peoria. Brian Voss. He just joined us. He's won 3 matches.
Just a great shot, drills all the pins, and you know what? He has a chance now because he's not finessing that left-hand lane, and it's tough to throw a lot of strikes when you're finessing and he's just attacking. But Dave Ferraro saying, hey, you know, I want that 27,000 first. Here I come.
And Dave now has 5 in a row, but he did open with a spare. What a final match here at Landmark. And we say 200. Usually it would be 100, but this is a True Value Open, and True Value is one of our very valued sponsors. Because it is their championship here at Landmark, they double the ante should a player be able to get 12 in a row.
Not a bad paycheck. Would be very exciting. Dave Ferraro used to being in high-scoring matches. He lost the highest score match on television. He lost to Mark Baker, 279 to 278. So he'd like to change that around. He's there.
He now has a 6-bagger of his own. Tremendous competitor from Kingston, New York.
Has a 5-month-old baby sitting back in the crowd rooting for Daddy. Daddy, I'm sure, is thinking of that. Brian Voss, the bachelor, going against the married guy. I almost got to believe that Voss is at a disadvantage when you're going against a guy hungry for his children.
7 in a row, 5 to go.
Brian Voss, who learned to bowl in the military. His father was a career Army man, owned a bowling center in Alaska, bowling against another man who is in the bowling business and horse business. The Ferraro family owns 2 bowling centers in the Kingston, New York area.
That's an awesome sight, isn't it? Should he get 5 more?
This
April
is the
15th coming up.
This is the key shot. The difficult lane for Voss, the 8th frame. He's thinking about the 300, but he has to close it a little bit closer with this shot.
So the string ends at 7. And it is a 7-pin that stopped him.
Now he looks up at the scoreboard and says, what's happening in the match? He knew if he rolled a 300 he couldn't lose, but now he looks up the scoreboard. He says, hey, I can bowl 279 and not even get a smell. Dave Ferraro has a possible 290.
All right. Because Dave opened with a spare and then strung him through the 7th frame. And he is back up now. There's Ray Becker with the red tie.
Now the man who once took a junior basketball tournament tip-off and scored in the wrong basket comes up on the proper lane. 8th frame, he can take the lead.
It's a 10-pin for Dave Ferraro, 28-year-old husband of Gloria.
Gloria studying that scoreboard, thinking money, money, money. It's a Tournament of Champions. As you look at the profile of Dave Ferraro, that upright style, long slide, and leaves the 10-pin, then converts it. If Dave Ferraro would win this championship match, he would knock Art Trask, a 4-time winner, out of the Firestone Tournament of Champions, the 3rd jewel in bowling's Triple Crown. 3 weeks from now, the first prize in the U.S. Open, the 2nd jewel of the Triple Crown, will be $100,000. A lot of money at stake in these last 5 weeks of the Professional Bowlers Tour.
On the left lane now, Big Knights.
No.
Came up very high, and the result is a 6-7-10. You heard him say, oh no.
Well, he's got to go for it right now. Dave Ferraro must get the ball over in the right-hand part of the lane, slide that 6-pin over into the 7, keep some pressure on Brian Voss. It's a must shot.
All-out effort, failing. 214 for Ferraro through 9 frames, going against Brian Voss, who opened with 7 in a row, marked with a spare in the 8th. Now he'll be shooting in the 9th. Looking at that overhead score. $27,000 to the winner, $14,000 to the runner-up. Coming into this game, he had 23 strikes and 3 victories. Now he has 8 in this match.
He's going to be the first 2-time winner on the 1988 PBA Tour. Brian Voss just asserting himself in his last 2 championship round of performances. Just took the field in 56 games at Ducat's Imperial Lanes for the national championship. And then here he just walked right through 4 opponents, defeating Roth in a very tight match, then keeping the pressure on everyone else. Has a possible 279 and a true value victory.
That's amazing. 7 in a row, spare. He is doubled now. Brian Voss. What a champion. A Professional Bowlers Tour is brought to you by True Value Hardware Stores. It's more than our name. It's our way of doing business. By Master Care Car Service by Firestone. Finally taking care of your car is no big deal. And by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. Everybody loves a winner, especially Brian Voss, Mr. Strike, and a bachelor to boot. Ed Langto is here with a check for 27 and a True Value trophy.
Thanks, Chris. On the behalf of True Value Hardware Stores throughout the country, we're happy to present him the check, and also along with this plaque for his efforts today in winning a True Value tournament.
You had him worried. You almost got 200,000.
I was definitely thinking about it. It's a little scary.
Congratulations, champ. We're running out of time. Okay.